Of course, as an Englishman coming to Canada or the United States, as I have done a few times over the years, to talk about self-determination or listen to experts in self-determination, obviously I do observe that I really come from the other side of the Atlantic. I'm really a European. Actually, people have been doing something like this in different forms for decades also. And there are other countries around the world. So I'm really interested in what we could learn together, because I think that has enormous power. I noticed in Australia recently, they've committed to make big changes that they call the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Of course, that change comes with enormous anxiety, and one of the things that they have naturally, quite properly done, is then go off around the world and try and find out what good things are happening. I think that's been quite hard for them. I think that often what they will jump to is whatever appears to be sexy or whatever was the last thing people were excited about. I don't think we're very well informed about what's going on. I think we're constantly surprised that whole countries might have been doing brilliant things for decades, but we just never talk to that country because they speak a different language, or their system's so different that we never thought to compare what they're doing with what we're doing. But certainly the next stage in the journey to advancing citizenship must include a much more global dimension. I think we have to be much more attentive to who's doing good stuff, what they learned, what we can learn from them. And I think that will also have a political dimension. Politicians, in my experience, are generally good people, but in far too much of a hurry to understand anything. So what they need are reference points, and they need good advocates to help them see what's important. So I think the advocacy movement, which ultimately has to be led by people with disabilities themselves, can be better equipped in their work if they have good reference points. So it might seem a rather modest way of thinking about how we would advance citizenship for all of us, not just people with disabilities. I'd quite like my citizenship to be advanced as well. On that journey, I think better understanding where different countries are, what they've learnt, what we can learn from them, will really help us.